Outstanding performance by everybody, offense, defense, special teams. Um, Great crowd for Georgia tonight. Our Red Coat band was there. Very nice to be able to celebrate the victory with our fans and our band, and the families, of our team. Just very thankful to have the opportunity to go back to Atlanta. We're very excited about winning the East. We're very excited about going back to Atlanta. There's no doubt about that. But we know there's a lot of work to be done between now and then. We've got a couple games to be played. We've got Georgia Southern coming up this week that we know is going to be a challenge, and we've got to work hard to prepare for them. But we also have to work hard at just getting better as a football team as we progress throughout the year. I think we've been improving as we go, and hopefully we can keep it going.
Coach Richt, you say you want to get better as a football team. It's a two-parter. A, in what areas, and B, how do you do that against two teams where you are heavily favored to?
Well, every day that we practice, we have a chance to get better or worse. I mean, that's just all there is to it. And there's just so many things on offense, so many things on defense and special teams. There's just so many facets of the game that you can perfect. And again, even if you feel like you're playing at a high level, somewhere along the way, if you don't keep honing it, if you don't keep working hard at it, you're going to lose what you have. So we just got to keep moving forward. And hopefully we'll keep getting better every day in practice.
Anything you saw tonight that you said, boy, we need to get better at that?
There were some things protection-wise that wasn't just right. When you have a game like that, a score like that, you might think everything's going right. But every time you snap the ball, we'll see some things that weren't done as well as they should be. And so we just got to, make sure we keep getting better. And the thing about football is every week you play, it's a whole new team. It's a whole new scheme. You can't just sit there and say, well, let's just run that same game plan again. You can't do that because you have different defensive looks, different offensive looks, and different things to deal with on special teams. So it's always a challenge every week.
Does this feel different than here 10 years ago, or even last year when you clinched?
Yeah, it's a little different in that. Again, we are excited about it, and I don't want to belittle in any way, shape, or form winning the East because it's a big deal, and there's 6 other teams in the East that would love to have done it, and so it's very difficult to get in position to go back to Atlanta. But I just think that we really feel like since we were there last year and didn't do very well, we played good for a half, and just didn't do much the second half. We want to play better.
Mark,
we want to have a better performance when we get there.
Aaron complete 10 consecutive passes to start the game. That really it almost passed the game, so that the running game tonight, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Aaron was very sharp. We had a couple of really good red zone plays that were run to perfection early on. That was big, and I think Coach Bowe just really did a good job of scheming, and everybody executed it very well.
Mark, you coached with Brian Van Gorder for several years. Do you sympathize with what he's going through now, and can you put a finger on what the problem is defensively at Auburn?
Well, going into the game, our goal was just to play as good as we could possibly play, and you gotta take your feelings out of it and personalities out of it. But I'm a huge fan of Brian Van Gorder and Willie Martinez. I love both those men and their families, and they started the journey, to Georgia with me and that new staff. That was a special staff, a bunch of great guys, and they were a big part of it. And it's football is you just never know what a week's going to bring. You never know what a season's going to bring. So I know they're great coaches. I can tell you that.
Mark, we were talking after the game how quickly this sport can change. Think about how you felt 2 years ago when you walked off this field and where you are now. How much has changed?
Well, it's just you're exactly right. It's just there's going to be rough days. There's going to be some hard days, and you got to be tough enough to battle through it. You got to be tough enough to just keep waking up every morning and going back to work and getting back after it. We have done a good job of weathering a little bit of a storm over there a couple years ago, and even the beginning of last year, there was a lot of doubters, and we just kept together. I think, one thing that I really love about my time at Georgia is every team we've had has had a family atmosphere to it. It's had we just had a group of people that believe in each other. We've never really had an issue where I felt like we were losing the team or losing the teamwork between staff members or offense and defense or whatever it may be. So no matter how good or how bad things have been, we've always done it together, and that's huge because sometimes that's all you got. And so I'm just glad that we're able to celebrate right now.
Just play without two of your top wide receivers tonight. What does it mean for Georgia that you get put up 10 numbers in the air?
Well, we do have other good receivers, and guys did step up. We had Conley step up and make some plays, and Artie Lynch, made some plays, and of course TK and Malcolm have been doing well, and the run game was big tonight. We didn't have to rely quite as much on the pass game because we ran the ball well. Our two freshman backs have really been fantastic. To have so many doubts about our running game going into the season and having these guys play the way they play, been playing has been great.
Coach, back on that title game, what makes you think? Do you feel it would be different this year?
Well, I don't know. We just got to keep progressing and improving, and we'll just see. I mean, I'm not going to try to predict what's going to happen. I'm going to tell you that we want to do a better job than we did a year ago.
You mentioned celebration. What was it? Somewhat subdued, given that you guys.
No, it wasn't subdued. We had fun celebrating the victory and winning the East, but I think there's a little different feeling in everybody's spirit about that Atlanta, is not the end of the road. We hope.
When you clinched last year, it was that Kentucky game. It was a little closer game. Does this indicate you guys are on a little bit more of an upward trajectory in your mind?
Well, we're playing a whole lot better on defense, I can tell you that. And offensively, today we put it together, run and pass. We've had some outstanding performances from Murray. Let's say Kentucky game. We didn't run the ball that good, but we were throwing and catching so good it didn't really matter. Today was a day where we ran it well. We threw it and caught it well. Defense was outstanding. Colin Barber punted beautifully. We started to see a little bit more of what he could do. Made every extra point and field goal. We covered our kicks well. Just a lot of really good things happening.
Coach, two big zeros on the stat sheet. 0 points against, 0 turnovers. Which is more impressive to you?
Well, anytime you get a shutout is huge, and you usually get a shutout because there aren't any turnovers. A lot of times your defense may play lights out, but if you throw a pick six or fumble it inside your 20 or your kick returner fumbles the ball on a kickoff and puts the defense in a bad position, it's hard to get a shutout when somebody's already in field goal range. So shutouts really are a team thing, and as good as your defense is playing, I've seen a lot of great defensive performances and still give up, 3 or 7 or 10 points because of some bad turnovers and bad field position.
It seems like this team's overcome some obstacles, obviously the suspensions and some key injuries. What does that say about the character of this team?
Well, I'm proud of it. We just keep banging away, and we keep believing, and we weren't going to let anything become an excuse for us, and so that's the way you got to do it.
Coach, you mentioned that